Hi guys, in today's video I'll be showing you something else, not soldering. I'll be showing you slow stitching scrolls or slow stitching rolls that I did while I was not feeling well in January, being sick with bronchitis. This is a new thing for me. It's very therapeutic, so I'll show you what I did and hopefully you will enjoy. Hi guys, I just wanted to film this video because I just have to share with you new kind of hobby that I am doing on the side. I know this channel is about soldering mostly, but I just thought because I'm surrounded by beautiful creatives like you are, I just have to share it with you just in case you'll find this interesting and maybe you would love to practice this therapeutic art that I have discovered. So this is basically something that I did over the period of 1 month. While I was sick with cold, and you know us, we can't sit still, we have to do something with our hands, we are creatives. I had a really high fever, but I was still making stuff because that's, you know, the nature of us, creatives. So I discovered slow stitching method, and those are slow stitching scrolls that I will be showing you and demonstrating, and I will also show you what I was making while I was not feeling well, which were some sage bundles, some beautiful sage bundles. If you guys are interested, just wanted to share with you. Let me show you. I made 3 scrolls. I made myself some mint tea. I'm really tempted to break this and make a ring out of it, but we shall not do this because this is too beautiful. Anyway, so no, I'm not allowed. Anyway, so these are the slow stitching scrolls or slow stitching rolls of fabric, and sometimes people make books out of it and whatnot, but this is basically for the purpose of stitching and meditating. That's all that is. So let me just show you. So and I can do a tutorial. If you guys are interested in this, I will definitely do a tutorial. And this is a combination of sashiko method, which is Japanese technique of patching stuff. I'm obsessed with anything Japanese. I feel like they have a lot of philosophy in what they do. They don't force things, and I like the repurposedness of what they do, and the sashiko method especially. So this is a combination. So we're going to be looking at the first one, which was inspired by flowers and fruits, and I was feeling kind of down when I was not feeling well, so I was thinking about spring when I was making this. So let's just go through this. So this is where I incorporated different cottons, and sometimes you do see that I would incorporate a little perhaps like a synthetic material in here. You see a little bit of mesh with embroidery, but you can do whatever you want. You can attach, for instance, different crystals, charms. You see, this was like spring related, so I'll show you. It has butterflies. Let me make sure this is focusing. It has beautiful butterflies, and I was just kind of going wild and letting myself stitch and not judging what I do, which is sometimes difficult. You know, we're trying to be perfect, we're trying to perform every time we do something, at least myself, and that was very healthy to just let go and think about summer and think about cute little things, you know, and I let myself be and do whatever I want with that without any judgment. And I started feeling better. I was fully, like, you guys, I couldn't even think about anything. It was a true meditative process that I really enjoyed, because usually when I'm trying to meditate, it's difficult for me. But this, I was so in the process that it really helped. And I came up with a cute little idea because I'd make sage bundles, as I mentioned, and I often use, not in this one, but I always use often use Palo Santo. So this is attached to Palo Santo. So not only this is a relaxation project that looks good, it also smells good. It smells like Palo Santo. If you guys are not familiar with Palo Santo is this very ancient wood that has amazing scent. It has purification qualities. It cleanses energy, and it also cleanses the air around you. So once you burn them, but even smelling them, they're like antiseptic basically. So this is how it looks in the back. And yeah, before we move on, I just kind of stitched it to the around the stick so it doesn't really move, but you can totally pull it out and burn the stick. It could be a ritual. I'm thinking to create those on like monthly basis, and see where I'm at, and maybe add some, you know, fabrics that remind me of a certain period of my life. And this is how it looks in the back. And even that is like some kind of code, you know, that we are injecting in that. So I'm gonna put this aside and I'll show you another one. So this one was about my dream to one day hopefully own a house in California. Good luck, because all of them are here, 2 million and plus, because, you know, but never say never. But basically it's about the California dream in California, and I live in California and I love the state so much. And basically this is the house that I'm dreaming about, and you can make those things and make them like your vision boards. We don't have to be sticking to the vision board that we always kind of do, which is like hanging on the wall or, you know, somewhere in your notebook. It could be this kind of visual, handmade, out of fabric vision board that you can be implementing. And they don't have to be exact photos cut out of magazines. It could be things that remind you or hint towards your goals. So this one is, for instance, California. So, and then I can show you how I make those loops. It's pretty easy. And I start adding a bunch of, this is like, represents the sun. This button, for instance, represents the sun. And this is basically maybe like my whole American dream, not just Californian dream, like of buying a house, but like traveling, right? I found this fabric, and this particular fabric, I think I thrifted, and it has different states. But I started with California, and then I was like, you know, we can travel while we live in California. We'll have our little homestead with chicken. Then we might go to Oklahoma. I had to go of whatever fabric I have, but still, like, I don't know. I was still thinking about my California dream when I was making this. And I also had 102 fever, so God knows why that is in this order. Then this is the fabric that I'm actually filming, and I use that to cut it out. As you can see, it doesn't have to be all cotton, and this is not even aged with tea, but you can age it with tea. And then we would go to Chicago. I thought, why not? Then again, we'll go back to check on our homestead to make sure the chickens and cows are good, and then we're back to California. And then we harvest our beautiful wild strawberries, and then it's a California dream that I embroidered. I could have done a better job in embroidering, but, you know, girl wasn't feeling well, so this is all she could do. And again, I attached it to Palo Santo, so it smells amazing, and I love this fabric. And the more vintagey fabrics you find, the better, in my opinion, it's gonna look, because this is kind of the style. And some of them I touched, so I'll show you. So you can do it completely by hand, but this one I was using machine to put some things in place, but you don't have to. But I was using a little bit of sewing machine to do that, to place some stuff in to keep it more secure. But then, yeah, it was all hand stitching, and this is how it looks in the back. And this is just another little dream, you know. And it was very meditative. You forget about everything when you do this. All right, this is a little, I watched when I was sick. I was watching, I don't like watching movies because I'm sorry, I just don't, because I need to do like sit-ups or something. I get anxious, which is so silly, and I'm trying to watch more movies, but I was forced to watch movies, okay, because I was just not feeling well. So I finally watched Marie Antoinette with Kirsten Dunst. It's an old movie at this point, but movie that was shot a few years back, and the fashion was amazing. And you know me with sewing and loving all that stuff, so she was, you know, how she was so decadent and eating all those cakes, and you know, and this bundle is inspired by that movie, Marie Antoinette. So I was incorporating some of the lace. As you can see, usually the way I am learning about this technique now, but usually everything that you do here is torn. You don't really use scissors to work with this, but and I freeformed, you know. If I wanted to use a little bit of lace, I did. So basically, yeah, it was Marie Antoinette, so I was looking for anything in my you know, my supplies of fabric, which I have a vast one. I was looking for cupcakes and you know, bright stuff, and dreaming about feeling better, and it really helps. Like, I was not feeling well, and it was really helping me. Again, butterflies, I was reusing the wild berries, wild strawberries, fabric, a little bit of watermelon, again, lace. So this was like lace, Marie Antoinette kind of inspired. I think this is the part where I really wasn't feeling well, so I was like crossing black parts, like like kind of like trying to expel the illness in me, which like that I remember vividly, like working on that, be like, oh, like just go away, which is like meditative. We are such complex creatures, I believe, and we really have to take care of ourselves and think about us as a one big physical slash ethereal organism, if you know what I mean. It has to be all in harmony, and sometimes making things like that, you would think it's silly, but it really helps. It's like sometimes you need to write something out, right? You have a problem, you have to like maybe use a notebook to write it out to get rid of it. So this was my method, intuitively getting rid of the problem that I had, which wasn't feeling well. I'm telling you, you got me. It was pretty bad, the bronchitis that I had. So anyway, so again, like back to cupcakes and just playing with that, and just again, cupcakes was the theme. And then this is a beautiful fabric. I made a coat out of this fabric for myself a while ago, and I'll show you that coat. You will love that coat. And this is how I finished it in the back. Adding some lace, and again, this is kind of the code. The underneath, you know how the websites, they have front page, and then you have a back end, front end, and then the back end. This is like the back end of our art, and this is like a code in itself. Yeah, so I highly recommend you guys doing this. I am going to be continuing adding to that and working with this, and maybe making it less florally, but more. Now I'm working on something that's going to be very neutral tones and very like Japanese, and we'll see what's going to happen. But and I might be doing like a tapestry situation, not a tapestry, but more like combining all these things together to make a wall art. That's what I want to do, like a wall art. So yeah, those are the things that I was working with. Let me move my tea out of the way. Isn't that a beautiful cup? I can't. And by the way, I'm wearing this ring for those that watch my channel for soldering. Let me show you. The only problem with these rings that sometimes things get caught on those tiny little rhinestones, but this is my new thing. I'm using rhinestones a lot, and I'll show, I think it's on my channel by now, or maybe it's coming. Ooh, you see how blingy it is? I will show you guys how I made those veins. And this is sea glass that was sent to me by Catherine. Catherine, thank you so much. She's my subscriber. She's so sweet. She sent me a whole bag of sea glass, and I right away made a ring. And I think it's either on my channel or going to be on my channel. Okay. It's an interesting video. We're trying a new format, but we'll see if you're gonna like it. So I have an Etsy store. You guys probably know I have 3 Etsy stores. Or maybe 4. I know, it's too much. Not that they are all doing amazing, I wish, but sometimes it's good, sometimes it's nothing for days, for months, for weeks. But anyway, one of the stores is New Blooming Moon, the old name of my channel, and I make chakra bracelets, and used to be gift boxes, and now I'm switching towards sage because I am in love. So let me just show you what I was working on while I was... this was actually before January, like in December I was working on that, and I was supposed to photograph, but because January was tough and I wasn't feeling well, I didn't. But let me just show you the beautiful arrangements. So this is like boutonnieres, I think they're called. So this is like an interesting development. I'm really happy with lotus. Let me just show you so it's kind of not in your way. Yeah, so this is like, I actually dried, because you know me, I go all in. Those are hand dried by me limes. I have a little dehydrator, so I do that, and eucalyptus here, and then stasin, I think the name is. I always say stannis, but I think it's stasin, and it's a beautiful flower. I love the way they dry. A little bit of calendula, thistle, and blue lotus, and they are just gorgeous. And I don't know this plant, but this plant grows outside. This is eucalyptus, but, and then lavender, of course, and then I use white sage as a base. So I can make a video on those if you guys want to see if it's gonna look like meditative to you. This is a simple one, nothing crazy. This is an interesting one I did with little peace sign. For some reason, people like peace signs. I have a few on my Etsy and people loved, and I decided to continue. And then a little cinnamon stick, and then an orange that I dried myself. Roses, those I didn't dry, but usually I do dry my roses because, and then eucalyptus leaf, and then a peace sign. And again, like those are the perfect ribbons for these kind of projects, you know? So this is just me experimenting. This is also another one that I did that I like, but let me show you my favorite. It's like a giant wedding sage that has dried, and I'll show you quickly those ones. You know, it's just a cute little, if you give a gift to someone, it's going to be great to include something like that, because like that definitely elevates your gift. Let me just show you the biggest sage that I did. Okay, so that is one of my favorites that I did, and it's inspired by kind of, I don't know, the witches of the forest. I don't know, but I decided to think about it again. Composition is very important, be it a ring, be it a painting. Composition is very important. So I was trying to be like, you know, kind of going zigzagging way. So basically, again, I used lavender and thistle and stasin, and I think it's called baby's breath. Baby's breath, I think. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. And then dry rose, and then those were pink when I got them, but they became pretty much dark or dark blue. They became pretty much dark blue. And this is just a giant. Let me see if I can zoom out. So this is like a giant wedding, I guess, sage, and I added some, I feel like this was fitting, something like raw deteriorating trim, and yeah, it's just makes me very happy. It's very therapeutic as well. I'm just trying to be mindful and doing things that are, I mean, everything that I do I love, but sometimes doing things that are only for you and for you to express, because we have energy. Like, look at our little antennas, you know, we have energy coming from every tip, you know, of our finger. And if you are the person that happen to be an artist, because not all of us are artistic, and but it is totally fine, but for us who are artists, expressing that energy and not suppressing, I believe, cleanses us. It's like purifying. It's a purifying ritual, I would say. So if you're an artist and you work at a job, especially if you need to work at a job that's not a creative, like I was for years, it's we need to find time on the weekend, or at least an hour a week, where we can express our energy and, like, you know, give it into the world, like express it, let it out, you know, and instead of keeping it, because I don't think that it's good for us if we're going to be keeping that energy, because it's something that's supposed to be happening, not happening, so you're suppressing it. And I think it can manifest in some elements. Like, I know I was overworking myself, and that's why on January, you know, I got sick. So we really have to listen to our body and do things that we love. And sometimes there's mindless things like these ones, and meditative. And yeah, I highly suggest you guys doing it. This is good to take with you if you're going on a trip, or just sit you know, with a cup of tea like I do. Just sit down and relax for 15-20 minutes a day, and make it your space, your sacred space, and meditate and make something so cute and therapeutic. So I hope I convinced you that this is an interesting therapeutic technique. I know it's not soldering, so I will be coming back with soldering videos, of course, but I also want to start interjecting other things to introduce you to perhaps be inspired, and maybe do some other things other than soldering. And I'm sure you guys are multimedia talented artists. So yeah, this is a new meditation for me, and maybe you guys are inspired to do something similar. If you are, let me know. If you would like me to show you how I make them, I will, but I just wanted to share with you everything that I learn, everything that I do, to hopefully help you, because, you know, things could be stressful, and taking care of yourself through meditation is important. And it's difficult for me to sit and just be quiet and not think about anything. That's difficult for me. But this is a meditation that I completely forget about everything, and I'm like in the fourth dimension creating this, and it really helps me. So I hope I inspired you. Please go create something beautiful. Don't judge yourself. Start small if you're a beginner. Create. Do not judge yourself. This is like my message to you. And don't can your ideas. Express, as I mentioned, we're creatures with little antennas. Express yourself. Let things happen that you want, and it's gonna help you with the flow in your life. I know I've been doing accounting for 10 years, suppressing myself, and then lots of not good things happen. So I learned from my lesson. If you want to know about my accounting experience, and yeah, just let me know and I will tell you in one of my videos. Anyway, I love you. I'll see you in the next one, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hugs. Bye.